Okay, so 6.9 is this one extra section at the end of our unit because vertex form is just kind of an extra thing. Vertex form is just another form that a quadratic function can be written in. So we are used to, from 6.1 through 6.8, the form that we saw our quadratics in was that ax squared plus bx plus c. This is just a completely different form, but believe me when I say it is 1,000 times easier to graph because you don't have to do those like 5 steps. If you currently have a phone out, please put it away. Okay, so in vertex form, your vertex is the point h comma k. I guess I should have told you what your vertex form is first. So vertex form is f of x equals, and then we still have an a out front, but instead of just having x squared, we have x minus h squared plus k. So our vertex is the point hk, and then I'm going to put a little note here because this is the easiest way that I have found for people to remember whether stuff's supposed to be positive or negative. Put a little note here that says h is the opposite and so what we mean by that is right here, if it says minus h, because there's a minus in the equation, so minus h here is positive h here. Right, so h is always the opposite sign, so positive or negative. Put your phone away, please. Put it away. Hey, then to find your y-intercept, we are going to have to plug in 0 for x. Do you have your pass from your division? Okay, go check in at the office. They're the ones who change your attendance. Okay, so you're going to plug in 0 for x and solve that. And then the one other thing, today, or this unit, all the parabolas we've seen have opened up. Sometimes if our parabolas open up, sometimes they open down. For this unit, or for this section, parabolas open up if a is positive, and they open down if a is negative. So by open up, we mean they look like this, and by open down, we mean they look like this. So here are your steps. We are going to identify and graph our vertex. And when we graph our vertex, we're also going to draw our axis of symmetry. So our vertex is easy on this one. Whereas last time we had to do that whole negative b over 2a, plug that in nonsense. The vertex is easy. So the vertex you get straight from the equation, which is why it's called vertex form. Then we find our y-intercept by plugging in 0 for x to find your y-intercept, and we graph that. And then we reflect our y-intercept across our axis of symmetry. For this method of graphing, instead of having 5 points on our graph like we did in 6.5, we only have 3. We're just going to have the vertex and then y-intercept and its reflection, or y-intercept might be down here in its reflection. So with that being said, we've only got 2 examples on notes here. Let's work on those. So this first example, we've got f of x equals 2 times x minus 2 squared minus 3. This is my h value, and this is my k value. My vertex is h comma k. So, but the key is remembering the h is the opposite. So right here, since this is minus 2, my h value is positive 2. H is the opposite, but k is the same. So k stays as negative 3. So that means my vertex is 2, negative 3. Okay, so graph a point on your graph at 2 over down 3. Put a dot there. That is your vertex. Okay. Once we get that vertex graphed, any questions about that? We can then do our y-intercept. So for our y-intercept, let me move up so we can see step 2 here. We plug in 0 for x, and then we just graph that. Oh, I forgot. Draw your axis of symmetry. So draw your axis of symmetry through wherever your vertex is. So I just drew a dotted line through wherever my vertex was. Okay, so our y-intercept, we are going to plug in 0 for x. So we're going to take the entire equation and we're going to replace that x with a 0. I'm going to write down what I'm going to end up putting in my calculator. 2 times 0 minus 2 squared minus 3. You could do that by hand. You would have to do 0 minus 2 because it's in the parentheses, then square that, then multiply that by 2, and then subtract 3. That's a lot of steps, and you have to make sure you do it in the right order. It's way easier to just plug this entire thing into your calculator and make sure you put the parentheses in the right spot. I should grab my calculator and plug it in too, I guess. Okay. If you are watching this video, sorry, you're gonna have to wait because I'm gonna go walk around, make sure, or I guess you can just fast forward. I'm gonna go walk around and make sure everybody got this. Good. Good. Plug it into your calculator. Come back for you too. Good. 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 You haven't plugged it yet? Yes or no? Okay, I'll come back for you too. You haven't plugged in yet? Okay, keep one. You haven't plugged in yet? I'll come back. Right there, instead of doing -3, you gotta do -3. I'm gonna put the minus right there. There, get it around. Good. Okay, get it plugged into your calculator. Have you plugged this into your calculator?
Yeah, it came
Like
up,
0?
it came up the same thing. Yeah, it came up.
That's super weird. Okay. Make sure you plug it in with 0 because it's not always gonna coincidentally work out like that. Okay. Here, right here. Okay. So, Brandon and Taylor, you guys both done? Have you plugged it in? Tay, have you plugged it in? Have you?
Here.
Good, good.
He's not trying to do it.
Good. Okay. Are you two plugged it in? Good. Okay. So, you plugged it in. So this is why I'm walking around, so we can fix these mistakes. Right here, this needs to be 0 minus 2. You did 0 -2. So 0 minus 2. There you go. Okay. Anthony, plugged it in yet? Good. Okay. So plug it in. Plug it in. Okay. Hit enter. You should be good. Good job. Okay. That should be ready. Yeah, I did. All right. Plug this into your calculator. Okay, so you need to do 0 minus 2, not 0 negative 2. 0 minus 2. And right here you need to do square. So you gotta use the square button. Okay? And then minus 3. Hey,
Has her location on it.
thanks.
Why be looking?
And here you go. Thanks. They've just been getting on us about making sure we go through that correct protocol. Okay, so should have gotten 5. That means our y-intercept is 5. So write that down here, that our y-intercept is 5. And then we're going to go graph that on our y-axis at the point 0, 5. Okay. Questions on that one? When you are plugging it into your calculator, when you read this, you would read this as 2 times 0 minus 2, squared minus 3. So I said minus here, so that gets plugged in as a minus. I said minus here, so that gets plugged in as a minus. Okay, next one. Our vertex is still h comma k. So, oh my God, I'm not done. I literally even put a little box here so that we would remember to do this, and then I'm the one who forgot. Okay, so the last thing that we have to do is reflect our y-intercept. So that's why we draw this axis of symmetry. So wherever your axis of symmetry is, look at where your vertex is, or sorry, your y-intercept and your axis of symmetry, and say, okay, I'm 2 to this side, so then go 2 to the other side. And then you will make a U out of that. And so it's just 3 points that make your U today. I put a little box to check off so you would remember. And I still forgot. Okay. Now let's move on to our second example. We've got f of x equals negative 4 times x plus 1 squared plus 2. Our vertex is h comma k. So this is my h value and this is my k value. But we have to remember, h is the opposite, k is the same. So my vertex, h here is going to be negative 1, k is positive 2. So h is the opposite sign, k is the same sign. So my vertex is negative 1, 2. So I go left 1, up 2. And while I'm on my vertex, I'm going to draw my axis of symmetry. Okay. And then we can plug in 0 to find our y-intercept. So we'll do negative 4. And I always want you guys to write down what you're plugging in. If you don't write down what you're plugging in, you're going to plug it in wrong. So negative 4 times 0 plus 1 squared plus 2. Go plug that into your calculator. I'll give you a moment to do that. I'm not going to walk around on this one. Go ahead and plug that in. Hey, what'd you guys get? Negative 2. Did anyone not get negative 2? Okay, so I know exactly how you got negative 8. Right here. Did you do plus 2 or just times 2? Did you figure it out for him, Angel? Okay. Okay, so we get -2. Our y-intercept is -2. So down here, we're going to put that at -2. Then we reflect across our axis of symmetry. So this time, the axis of symmetry is to the left. So it's one away, and I need to go another one in the other direction. So these are my 3 points, and my u is going to be upside down like this. So remember, if that front number, this 2 is positive, that's why it opens up. This 4 is negative, that's why it opens down. Okay, questions right now. There's no back on this. It's seriously that easy. Okay, so